It's time for Get the Lax Scoop, a podcast bringing you all the people and stuff you should know in the game of lacrosse. We take lax seriously, but ourselves, not so much. Join hosts Big Dawg and Jaybird and the biggest names in the game. Brought to you by Jay McMahon Lacrosse. That's JML, skills, mindset, and lax IQ training.
Ron Doglish, the Big Dog, was a collegiate football and lacrosse player at Brown. He was also an assistant lacrosse coach and the executive director of the Sports Foundation.
And Jay McMahon, the Jaybird, a three-time All-American midfielder at Brown. He was a captain of the U.S. Junior National Team and is the founder of JML. And joining us in the studio, Steve Gresalfi, whose collegiate lacrosse career statistics equals 1 goal against Dartmouth. Brought to you by Jay McMahon Lacrosse. That's JML, skills, mindset, and lax IQ training, helping the next generation of lacrosse players get to the next level. Welcome back, everyone, to Get the Lax Scoop. Is there a more exciting time? Oh, Jay's already fucking going to interrupt me.
Yeah, Ron.
Let's start over. What do you want,
right.
Jay?
It was a little loud. It was a little screechy and loud. I don't know if we can balance it out a little.
Tone it down, Jay. Tone it down.
I mean, we want the energy. We just don't want the screech.
Okay, take two. Welcome to a very special NCAA Lacrosse Championship episode of Get the Lax Scoop.
Absolutely.
Jeff, are there any guests today?
None.
No.
We don't need any.
No. We have plenty to talk about, Jay.
Why is that?
We're coming to you on the precipice of the NCAA Lacrosse tournament. In fact, 2 play-in games have already taken place, Jay. We're already into playoff action.
It's incredible. So exciting.
Jay, how do you want to start us off?
I really want to start us off with the #1 ranked Cornell Big Red, as they are taking on the Great Danes of Albany. Now, Ron, I don't know if you are aware of this or listeners, but the Great Danes started the season out 1-4, and then after 9 games were 2-7. But since then, they have gone 8-1 with wins over UMass, Bryant, and Siena, which was the first round, the play-in game of the Division I NCAA playoffs. So they're a team that's got some firepower and that really has some momentum. But who are they coming up against?
That's a lovely story, Jay. They're going to lose.
Okay, Ron.
They're going to say it
like that. Jay. Scott Marr's a great guy. I stayed with him on my recruiting trip. I mean, come on.
I love Scott Marr. I love what he's done with that program. He's built a tremendous tradition at Albany, and I actually did not know, Jay, that they started 2-7. So,
well, you know what?
Good job by them.
Forget that. They've won 7 games in a row. They're coming in hot.
Jay, I'm wondering if you watched the Ivy League championship game.
That I did not, actually.
Well, I did catch that game, Jay. And
did you, Ron? I had a feeling you did.
Thoroughly impressed with the offensive firepower of the Cornell Big Red. And
very impressive.
It's interesting, Jay, because the old Ivy League is quite offensively potent.
They are, and they are rather well represented in this tournament, I might add.
They are, indeed.
I hate to say it, but I'm a fan of the Cornell Big Red. They're just fun to watch. And they've got 2 Garden City guys on there. Their face-off guy, Jack Cascadden, has 9 goals and an assist, and Brendan Staub, one of the best LSMs in the country, has 2 goals and 2 assists and many, many caused turnovers. But I digress. Ron, tell me about their offense, if you could.
Well, I mean, this was a game, Jay, that had each team had 6 or 7 goal runs in this game. It was incredible back and forth. And so I just walked away incredibly impressed with the depth of Cornell offensively. Obviously, they've got one of the best players in the country. And
he probably is going to run away with the Tewaaraton Award, Ron. You are right. What is this guy's name again?
Who are we speaking of, Jay? Mr. Kirst?
I think his name is PJ. Oh, no, it's CJ Kirst.
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Something like that. I've heard that name a few times this year.
I mean, so I think Cornell has tremendous depth and, as you just said, arguably the best player in the country this year. So I think they're going to be a very tough out. I'm already, perhaps, Jay, prematurely.
Please don't premature, Ron, please.
Looking ahead.
Keep it together.
Looking ahead to what could be a very intriguing Cornell, North Carolina
Ooh. Yeah, well, we'll
game
get on to that
in
matchup
the
next. Let's
quarterfinals.
not jump
Yeah, let's
the
not get ahead
gun.
of ourselves, Ron. We're still in the first
And-
round.
And
So,
our roving reporter, Steve Gresalfi, has some excellent criteria that he would like to share.
well,
For each
I'll break
game,
that
it's gonna
out
be
at the
different.
end. But what I'm
Okay.
going to do here is I'm going to keep track of everybody's picks, and then we're going to see how everybody does. I'm going to stack my algorithm with 7 criteria against your knowledge and expertise, and
Ooh,
we'll see who does better. So,
I like it.
so for the first game, let's have your picks. Jay, is it going to be
All right.
Cornell or Albany? What do you think?
Well, Albany is playing well, and it was interesting. I saw Scott Moore with a quote saying that, well, we did lose to them 18-11 on April the 1st this year, but we've improved a ton, and I think we got something special for the Big Red. So that he was really kind of stirring the pot there. But all that being said, Cornell is playing incredibly well. They only have 1 loss, 14 wins, 1 loss. It's crazy. So I am going to go with the Big Red, and I think we got to give a score. I'm going to give a score of 16-10, going out on a limb there. They're going to get 1 goal closer than in the midseason. Ron?
Steve, the one thing that I want to say is this is going to be an 8-hour episode if Jay answers every simple question with that kind of soliloquy. For God's
Ron,
sakes.
this is
Let me answer this
the
simply and
fruits
clearly.
of research, Ron.
The
Some
Cornell
people put
Big
some
Red
effort
will
in.
win this game. The Cornell Big Red will win this game 18-13.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Now,
That's interesting.
Jay, do you want me to share all 7 elements of my criteria, or do you just want me to like randomly pick one and choose there? I think it'd be more accurate if for each game I just quickly go through all my criteria.
All right, go for it then. We
right,
love
so,
nothing but
criteria
accuracy
number
on this
1.
show.
This is Cornell versus Albany. And my first criteria is who did better in Yelp reviews. So I got on Yelp. And,
As a lacrosse
Cornell,
program or the cafeteria
this
or
is
the
just
delivery service?
the actual university. I look at this as a holistic view. I'm going to weave this into my tapestry of of how I'm going to make the selection. So Cornell, despite only having 1 review on Yelp, came in with a 5 out of 5. Albany has a
1 review.
3.5.
Wow.
So right now that's a 1 in the Cornell column.
Wow. Impressive.
Criteria number 2 is who would win in a fight of mascots. So we have the Big Red Bear versus Damien the Great Dane. Clearly, Cornell, the Bear, would win in a rout. Ron, do you concur?
No question, Steve.
Okay. Now here's
could-
where
Although
Albany,
perhaps the
argue with
Bear would
that?
have to catch the Dane.
Who could
Albany
argue
comes
with
in
that?
now with my third criteria.
It's a
of
steel cage match,
alphabetical
Ron.
order.
Come on.
So Albany clearly beats Cornell in alphabetical order.
Ooh.
Albany also loses to Cornell in cheapest full-service meal plan. Cornell
Wow.
at $7,100. Albany
Ooh.
surprisingly at $10,260.
Wow. That's a shit.
Here's where Albany surprises everybody. The best names on the roster. While Cornell has a Wyatt Noost and an Antonio Tapuzis,
Whoa.
which is pretty strong. Albany has a Silas Richmond.
He's
Amos
their top scorer,
McComb,
too. Silas
Jack
Richmond.
Valkenburg. No, Van Valkenburg.
Ooh, that's even better.
Chris Crappenzano. That's
Oh,
and Parker Winky. So clearly Albany
love it.
scores easily in that criteria.
ding.
And this is kind of where it all began. I asked ChatGPT who it thought was going to win, and it thinks Cornell's going to win.
Did it give a score?
And the tiebreaker was who has the better football team, and according to ChatGPT, also Albany. So
Wow.
this is a 6-1 in favor of Cornell. So I am also in with Cornell, but I'm going to guess that Cornell is going to win 11-9.
Oh, all right. And a scorcher. All right,
Steve,
All right,
beautiful.
so,
I'm certainly intrigued to see those criteria unfold as we move ahead.
Only 7 more games to go.
Yeah.
All right,
so
next
I'll just
up,
give you
we're
a
going to go.
synopsis of the next one, but we do have to go over some of the roster names. I mean, that really is.
Oh, I know. Crap is
Some of those are pretty tight and hard to pick.
I love
Yeah.
it. No, that was great. Let's get in as much as we can. We can always edit. All right, next game, we'll go number 8 UNC hosting the Richmond Spiders. We got Coach Bresci versus Coach Dan Shamati. Both have been on our show, both good friends of Get the Lax Scoop. This is going to be a hell of a game. I mean, Richmond is 13-3, UNC is 10-4. Thing that's too bad for UNC is that they're a little banged up. Like their two best players, Owen Duffy and Dom Petramala, are clearly not running full speed. And I've got some intel. I know one of the orthopedists for UNC, and he said they're both actually injured, but they were injured against Notre Dame, and you could tell. I was actually at the Notre Dame game, and you could tell they're just not running full speed.
I'm
But
sure
Ron, go
Coach
ahead.
Brushy really appreciates you sharing that injury report publicly, Jay. I'm
Well,
sure
we can edit that.
That's great, Jay. Thank you
I think
for
everyone knows.
helping out our friend Joe there.
All right. Well, editing software is a fantastic thing. Ron, your impression.
Yeah, I think I would have said about 4 weeks ago that North Carolina was my favorite to win the whole thing, but they've been clearly a little up and down. And Jay, I'm sort of joking. I think everybody knows. I don't think what you shared is a secret. And
even though it was an inside.
Yes,
job,
no, Jay, you were trying to impress everybody with things that have been said on the air on every broadcast for the last month. But no, Jay, you're an insider. Clearly, you're an orthopedic friend.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I do, especially we got to go with our two Brown folks also on the North Carolina
Goodile
sideline.
Was also an insider.
John Thompson, the offensive coordinator,
yeah.
and Rob Gooptile, the director of player personnel.
I saw Goody at that Notre Dame game.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with you, Jay. I think this sort of has it's either going to be a really tight game, or when Carolina gets rolling, you've seen they do have the ability offensively to blow people out.
They could.
But so I will.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Ron. I'm gonna go ahead and
don't give it yet. Let me share some more information. All right, I'm gonna share a little more information. It's not insider.
Yeah, Jay, you've done a lot of research.
Just
you're gonna
for
make
people
sure we
who
hear
do
all
some
of
research.
it, aren't you?
It's interesting for the listeners, Ron. It's really not just we're not here for you. Anyway, the Spiders are led by Aiden O'Neill. I've been to several games up in the booth with Big Dom Starja, which is cool. And very consistent, like a lot of Coach Dan Chiamati's teams, incredibly consistent. Like Aiden O'Neill has about 50 points. I think he's actually got exactly 50. And then after that, you've got 6 scorers, all with like 25 to 35 points. So they're kind of all dangerous. And their defense is actually really good. Looking up the ratings, their offense is number 3 in offensive efficiency. Their defense is number 4, in the country. And but when you look at like games that they lost to Duke in overtime. They lost to Maryland about 12-7, 11-7. And Cornell, they lost to Cornell by a goal. That was a heartbreaker. I was at that one. And it might have even been overtime. I'm not sure. But against those top teams, they average giving up 12.5 goals per game, whereas across the whole season, they give up only 7.5 goals per game. So if Carolina, who averages, Ron, guess how many goals per game? 12.5.
Huh.
Come on, Ron. Stay with me. Stay with me, Ron.
Huh, Jay.
Jeez. Yeah. So if Carolina can hit their average of 12.5, they're going to be in pretty good shape. I think it's a toss-up. But you know what? I'm going to, unfortunately, because I love UNC and Joe Bresh and Goody and John Thompson, but I'm actually going to go with Richmond in like OT. Either a 1 goal or an OT game. I'm going to go 13-12, the Spiders.
Silliness, Jay. Silliness.
Well, we'll see. I think you're right, though. I mean, they got the pedigree. You never know if Richmond's going to be a little nervous or something, and Carolina fired up to be at home. We'll see.
15-12 Carolina. Steve, mark it down.
Mark it down.
15-12.
Steve, what do you think is your leading criteria in this one as you've examined every aspect?
I'm looking at my big board now, Ron, and North Carolina has the edge on the Yelp reviews and also the mascot fight.
It's incredible.
They're obviously lagging in alphabetical order, but the name thing I think is where we're gonna go with Richmond, because while North Carolina has Caden Harshbarger, Cooper Frankenheimer, Hayden Whaling, and Leaf Hagerup, Richmond's coming in strong with a kid named Braden Pennefeather Stevenson. Pennefeather, Ron. So
you don't get that every day.
I don't think North Carolina is going to be able to overcome that name.
There's not enough Pennefeathers out there.
So I'm going Richmond in a 12-11 barn burner.
Love it.
Very interesting, Steve, as always.
Until we meet again, here's to hoping you find the twine. We're signing off here at the Get the Lax Scoop. Thanks again so much. We will see you the next time.